All right, you ready to rock and roll?
Mm-hmm.
All right, did you already hit play?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Sneaking
fuck
up on
me.
you.
That's, oh my God. I wish I would have known that. I wouldn't have just sat there playing my stupid fucking retarded game. You're not going to mine anything from any of that. We're wasting gold. All right, we'll do it live. Fuck it. We'll do it
You're
live.
playing your mind game.
All right,
It's
anyway.
gold, it's silver.
Welcome back to Beaux Happy Hour, ladies and gentlemen. This is a special episode. I'm out of my leisure attire because it is Easter Sunday, and I figure I'd get all dressed up for everything. A little bit of housekeeping. We have upgraded the facilities a little bit. As you can tell, we have green screen technology. I haven't quite mastered how it all works yet. And you probably can't remember what the fuck I put up there. We got a ring light, and we got an email address. So you can send your letters, questions, comments, concerns, and...
Drugs.
Well, I don't think they go over the internet. Unless it's Snow Crash. Anyway, go to Beaux, BEAUXHH for happy hour at gmail.com. Yeah, that way you could, write the show. All 127 of my adoring fans. So, and then we also got a couple of topics and categories. So let's get into it. Easter. Let's throw it up on the green screen.
Mm-hmm.
All right, things that went on for me in Easter. Well, I'll take this moment to talk about Jesus for a little bit of time. Tis the holiday and all that, which is why I'm drinking his blood unsanctified. So a little bit of fucking, red wine for today's show. I'm gonna cut my lip. I didn't script that off yet. Right there.
It's fine.
Anyway, so I'll talk about my faith briefly. I myself am a Christian. For me, my relationship with Jesus is very personal. As far as I'm concerned, religion's like a fucking buffet. Choose what you like. I don't give a fuck what you want to get into. And, I'll take all the Jesus at the buffet. It's like I want to proselytize and talk about all that other type of shit, but I don't push my faith. I just try to keep my own sort of thing private. One of the things they say in the Bible is that, like, if you pray out loud on the streets, it's like you get your reward there, not in heaven, because all you're doing is trying to show off. Like, look how fucking pious I am. I am a sinner. I fuck up all the goddamn time. But the one person who helped me walk back from the darkness was Christ. And when I was in the Marine Corps, there's a big whole like a Norse Odinist culture, which I'm all about. It's like fucking fight, murder, kill, and that's heaven. Sign me up twice, But what my relationship with God has taught me is it's like how to come back from constantly seeking violence and sex and boozing. Thanks. Well, anyway, I don't want to beat the horse on all that, but yeah. What's next on there for Easter? Family stories. So me and Sarah, we woke up a little late. Not too late. We had to go out to Astoria, Queens to pick up a vehicle from a friend's house. Bianca, she ended up getting married recently, found a husband, and he's in the fucking army. When he's in the 18 series pipeline. I haven't met the guy in person, but we've talked over the phone. He's pretty cool. I think it's Jake, is his name? Yeah, Jake. Jake, if you're watching or if you see this, man, I take care of Bianca. She's an amazing woman, and you got a friend in me. So anyway, Sarah's got to go over to Bianca's place, and we pick up the car, and she has to take care of the cats, and then we grabbed the whip and then drove down to my Aunt Jennifer's place in somewhere in the middle of the Pinelands. They have a fucking. I wouldn't say it's a McMansion because it's not one of those cookie cutter homes, but I mean the house doesn't really have much flair or personality. You know, it's just like just a big, nice suburban home, but in the fucking middle of the Pine Barren. So that's pretty rad. So, and while we're there, I'm there, family thing. So I'm not going to talk about anything that's going to cause a stir. I'm not trying to make issues on Easter Sunday. I love my family, but my family are blue dog Democrats. They'll vote blue no matter who, and that's fine. I don't give a fuck about your politics. Just don't force me to do a goddamn thing, you know. And I kept my mouth shut. I did a very good job at that. But then at one point, my uncle, like we were watching basketball and all that shit, like Final Four games, which is kind of cool. And my uncle said something about some ad that Trump had about hog tying Biden. He was saying it to my grandfather, who used to be the mayor in the town I lived in, used to run politics, and like the CCMUA, whatever the fuck it is, he's the head engineer at some place in Camden, New Jersey. And I just said to my uncle, I was like, well, Biden's using the goddamn judiciary branch to fucking target fucking Trump. And my uncle's like, do you really believe that? I was like, do you really believe they only valued his property at $18 million fucking dollars, that Mar-a-Lago, John? And then I was like, on CNN, they even said he could fire sell it and get at least $250. I mean, they're exposing themselves in that regard in and of itself. So, and then my uncle just kept talking and shit like, well, he didn't really say much. He just shut the fuck up. My grandfather was silent, you know, and he's an amazing man. I love him very much, but he's got a big mouth on the interwebs. It's like my boomer and greatest generation family members, like, they're the reason why I got the fuck off Facebook. And he didn't say a goddamn word. He didn't challenge a thing that I said. And then I got up, I walked away. I'm stealing from a different section, but I was like, happy Trans Visibility Day. Because that, of all things, is nothing but a complete middle finger and fuck you if you're a goddamn Christian. Like, this was not a holiday or a day they set in remembrance year after year after year. For the first time ever, you're going to have trans visibility or whatever the fuck they're going to outline it as on Easter Sunday. It's just goddamn satanic. It's bullshit. And fuck them and fuck whoever the fuck wants to do that. And you know what? I don't even blame Joe Biden because Lord knows he doesn't know where the fuck he is, except when he gets that miracle Lazarus cocktail drug when they throw him in for a big speech. And, all right, well, what's next? Oh, American Dream. So after we did, actually, you know what? Even that little flare-up wasn't that big of a goddamn deal because I didn't fight with them. They didn't engage.
If you would have heard your aunt, you would have been like, woo!
Oh, yeah. So my aunt, you tell the story, Sarah. You were there. I wasn't there. I was like, why didn't you fucking come and get me?
His aunt, they were talking about one of your uncles or family members going to the hospital because he had a heart attack.
Yeah. My uncle and my father had a heart attack.
And how she started going very frequently to get scans and everything. She said, and my doctor now every time asks me, do you have history of heart disease? And she said, not until my family got vaccinated, did I?
Yeah. And my mother, who, during the whole COVID bullshit, she was afraid to fucking hug me. You know, she bought into all those goddamn lies, which is why I'm so incredibly fucking angry, or happy, this is the happy hour, that she's still, like, I had a conversation with her the other day, and she fucking shoehorned politics into the conversation, because that's just a place I don't like to go with my mother. And she started going, and then I just pushed back, and I'm like, no, fuck you. And the one tool that I have in my back pocket that really fucks them all up is I will talk shit on any of the politicians. I don't give a fuck. I'll say fuck about Trump. I don't give fuck him. He makes mistakes. He's a goddamn human being. But like, my mother was defending Joe Biden and his vision for the future, whatever the hell was put into her head. And that same fucking people who did that, they made them afraid to hug, made my mother afraid to fucking give me a hug. And for that, I will always fucking hate them, you know? And it's just, my mother, you know, it's like she grew up and the Democrat Party took care of us, I guess, because, you know, I'm the son of a fucking murderer, and my mother is Puerto Rican, and we actually had to go on welfare benefits for a little bit, but my mother had to pay them back. Like we got back on our feet, and she had to pay them back. Whatever. I think that's a good system if you're actually gonna fucking hey, you helped me when I was in a tight spot. Government should probably fucking help people in that regard.
I mean, that's why you work. That's why you have all those taxes.
Yeah, it's the get up and move forward after you've been fucking knocked down. So
I mean, you do pay.
Yeah, I just wish to God I could have heard all that and I could have came in there.
I knew better
man.
Even the little comments that the one man, you know, behind her was making the smart one, the one that, like, you know, he has a little bit of a.
Oh, that's Jennifer's husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. I thought Jennifer has been. That's the one that was sitting on the couch with the.
Yeah, Emma.
No, it was an older guy. Older than that.
My grandfather?
No, not that old.
I only saw my grandfather, my Uncle Barry. And Jim.
Not the guy that was on the couch. The one, I think maybe has diabetes, gray hair, tall.
No, that's got to be my Uncle Barry. Because he's got diabetes. He's also got the fucked up heart from the goddamn vaccine. And, yeah. Well, we're getting too much into the weeds. Motherfuckers don't know who the hell I'm talking about. And, you know, is what it is. All right, what else we got out here on you? Oh, American Dream. We went after my church, my home church is in San Diego, The Rock. SDRock.com, I believe is the website. Check it out. Find God. Anyway, so I do church online. But we did go to a temple of American capitalism called the American Dream Mall. It's right outside of New York. It's got a fucking indoor water park, roller coasters, a goddamn ski hill, which that was pretty rad, you know? And yeah, that American Dream Mall, that's something else. But I'll tell you one thing, it is not. It is not my fucking dream. That place was a fucking racist nightmare. Because literally, quite literally, me and Sarah were the only white people in the entire mall. There was a couple workers that were white, but as far as like people
I didn't see any workers either.
I saw some workers that were
the
white.
one guy at the bar.
that guy with like red hair, some shit like that, and the guy at the ski hill. There was a lot of Jewish people. There was a lot of, and then just a mix of everything else. And hey, I've got no
Not
complaints.
everything else.
Everything else but white.
Every shade of brown, 50 shades of brown.
That's not exactly diversity if that's what we're supposed to be. I don't know what the demographics are of the Meadowlands or the surrounding area, but it's just the change. So when people say shit about like the replacement theory being bullshit, I mean, I don't know. I didn't see anybody that I grew up with, you know, around there, and is what it is. Since we did talk about there were Jewish people at the mall, I myself have got a lot of Jewish friends. As far as I'm concerned in my life, they have been some of the best people I've ever met and some of the worst. And my Lord and Savior is a goddamn Jewish carpenter, so I got no fucking beef with the group at all. But anybody who says Christ is king is a fucking anti-Semitic slur can go get fucked. Because as far as I'm concerned, it's the fucking truth. Now, I understand how you could say something and it's the way your tone can fuck it all up. Like I could say, happy birthday, you know, like someone's not going to take it that way. But you know what? The reality of it is, if someone says happy birthday to me like a fucking prick, I'm just going to say thank you. You know, that's just how I roll. And as far as I'm concerned, when I say Christ the King, it's the fucking truth. You know, and when somebody else says it, I'll also say it's the goddamn truth. Even if their intentions are soiled and they're just trying to be assholes, hey, you cannot, a hard truth. Facts don't care about your feelings, Ben Shapiro. Fuck that guy. I mean, the main reason why I say fuck that guy is, I mean, there's elements about him that I like because he's a very smart, clever guy. He's a little weird. He's got a hot sister. And
automatically makes you a little bit cooler.
Yeah, it does make you cooler. And but there's so many things where he's gotten it wrong, and he comes back and he changed it. What?
Is that why you're friends with my brother?
Your sisters were 10 years younger than me at the time. I was not hanging out with your brother for you, or for Vic for that matter, because with me, like Vic and I, there was never ever once any sexual tension between the two of us.
Look.
She might have been good looking and all that, but she never, like, there was just never anything there. Kind of like the way things were with me and Julie. There was just good friendship, but there was just never any sexual tension there. So it's just, yeah. So no, I did not hang out with your brother because he had hot sisters, but if I knew you were sucking dick back then, I definitely would have stayed away from you. Oh, man. And, yeah, it's funny because there was this one, that candy shop, they said, and the label said, it's sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just think of Tim Dillon when he goes on his rants about how, like, they're poisoning America because it's just sugar.
It's just sugar.
It's just sugar. It's a legal drug that just fucks your body up.
Sugar and seed oil.
So, yeah, sugar and seed oil. All right. Well, I think that's the end of the Easter segment. Let's go into and that'll segue into neighborhood news. So, apparently, here in New York City, think about changing the name from neighborhood news to Beaux Barrio, but whatever. Apparently, it's become an epidemic in New York City where the knockout game's kind of coming back, but they're targeting white girls. People are just coming up and punching bitches in the fucking face. And this kind of interjects with Sarah a little bit because Sarah's on these online forums, and you know she's a girl and talks to girls about weird shit. And there was something she was just talking about, an experience about how she doesn't use the subway at nighttime, and some bitch was on the online like, "Oh, you racist bitch, blah blah blah, like you're just making people afraid and this, that, and the other." Fast forward.
She specifically called me a immigrant phobic.
Yeah, xenophobic, even the proper goddamn word. She's too dumb to even know that.
I'm like a legal immigrant phobic or just immigrant phobic. Like,
did you respond?
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
what did she say to that?
This blah 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 shows I know exactly what you mean when you say that you don't and telling other people it's not safe. Well, I didn't say it. Sorry you thought it.
Yeah, but her timeline. Yeah, good point. Did you say that too?
No.
Ah, that's a bummer. But what's funny about that is that bitch posted a video about getting hit in the fucking head.
2 weeks later.
2 weeks later.
Yeah, so I of course have to go back to the post and take the video of her, oh my god, I was punched in the face, and post it right under her comment, calling me a phobic and preaching that she lived here for 10 years or you know, and never had an issue. So I said, shoulda took a taxi.
Shoulda took a taxi. Yeah. Your thing was just take a taxi at night.
That's it.
That's all you said.
That's all I said.
Take a taxi.
Somebody was asking about traveling alone in New York City. I said, you know, be aware of your surroundings, and I would take a taxi at night. I wouldn't go on those subways.
And that's all you said.
That's all I said.
Yeah, that bitch was doing a bunch of projection then.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Now, I'll tell you one thing. If you feel unsafe, just go with your gut. There's a great book by Gavin DeBecker called The Gift of Fear. And it's just a big, long book. Like, it's a book of compiled stories of, like, how people have trusted their gut and it saved their life, and people who didn't and fucking got murdered.
Yeah.
And it's sad, God bless the people who fucking died. Hopefully they found Christ. But it's just, go with, guess what? If you're walking down the street and you see a group of people, they could be scholars, they could be anything, insert your own image of whatever the fuck you're afraid of, and you get a bad feeling, go just walk across the street, because you know what? It's better to be thinking of yourself as a horrible person from the safety of your fucking bed and room than it is to be the victim of a fucking crime. And, so since we're on the game of fucking scholars, I have a little fucking game to play with you. All right, now close your eyes and imagine the worst people in your town or city. Get a good hard look of what they look like. Now I know what you're thinking. And now you're probably thinking, there ain't no way this motherfucker knows what I'm thinking. But I do. It's my game and my world, so fuck you. I'm smarter than that. And the reality of it is we're all thinking the goddamn same. And here's the thing. I did not give you whatever stock image that fucking populated in your head. So don't get angry at me. Get angry at whoever the fuck put that there into your head of that group of evil people. You know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, it's like my favorite hangout spot now in New York City is up in Washington Heights at the Skiff, at Jason Delgado's little fucking private club. And I'm hanging out with all Puerto Ricans and all that type of shit. Now, granted, I'm half Puerto Rican, so I get a little bit of a pass. But the reality of it is, a lot of people are afraid to go up to Washington Heights, And I live in fucking, Morningside Heights, which is just, it's filled with a bunch of people that I am not a fan of. It's the people who are intentionally fucking denying the reality around them and preaching the bullshit. Like during the whole COVID nonsense and stuff, like I go to a college that's supposed to be a bastion of intellect and intelligence, and they were making us do shit that was scientifically, if you actually want to trust the science, which is the most bullshit statement in the world, they were going against the fucking truth. Things that even their goddamn high priest Fauci was saying, like the mask does not goddamn work. Those surgical pieces of shit. Anyway, I don't want to fucking beat the horse to death. I'm a fan of whatever. Anyway, stumble. Hey, cut that, edit that out.
Edit that out. All right.
Yeah.
What am I, your tech team?
Yeah, well, as you can see, we're high speed, so that's probably not going to get edited out. All right, next section. Since we were talking about you, we'll go deeper into Sarah news. As it turns out, Sarah, my lovely girlfriend, is married. I had not the foggiest idea, and got married while we're together, of all things. So it's like, not only is she married, she's fucking cheating on me on top of it. And Sarah, you might as well pick up the story. I mean, Sarah works in Midtown at Fogo de Chao. Green or fucking red, Roja and Verde. And Sarah, pick it up. You go into it. How'd you meet your fucking lovely husband?
About a week ago, super rich guy was there for a business meeting, and all of his workers got there before him. They were all super nervous whether they did everything correctly.
And they were all bummed out because they were slumming it, Fogo de Chao.
Yeah, the millionaire normally does better.
Yeah. Springs for a classier meal. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
And they were like apologizing in advance because he's picky and he's rude. So that's no problem, So I he snaps a little attitude with me in the beginning. I kindly, with a smile, snap a little attitude back. They all looked at me like I was like squaring up with a bear or something.
Yeah.
And I
was
said,
wearing leather.
And I'll be right back with your drink. Turn around. As I turn around, apparently he said, to his entire company, guys, I am marrying a pregnant waitress.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Sarah is 7 months pregnant, and she is showing like a motherfucker. That's why she doesn't want to be on camera. And also, it's better to use your imagination. You don't know what the hell she looks like.
Yeah. So I'll tell
figure it
you, I'm about 5'9", about 110 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, though,
Oh.
after that whole thing, apparently they came up to you afterwards. You were saying?
Yeah, and we're like, oh, you took the edge off of everything. We were so nervous. He loved you. Blah 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 blah. And we've never seen him.
He didn't even say the marrying thing to her.
No,
said it behind her back.
He said it to his friends, like the coworkers, and they came up to me afterwards and told me. So yesterday I'm sitting there with a table, and I get told your husband's coming in. So my husband's coming in. So
I was going to a Ramadan party up in Harlem. My buddy Daniel was throwing it, and so I was out for the evening. And Sarah's thinking, oh, him and his buddies, I guess they're
gonna come visit me.
Coming down and visiting. Who knows what the fuck.
Yeah. And I'm keep looking for him. And I made my table a special dessert. They always split tres leches when I have kids together. So I surprised them with the tres leches and 3 spoons. So the guy was like, oh my God, this is so sweet. And he starts crying. And I look, and this guy gives me a hug. And it was the same customer from like a week or 2 ago, standing there with his arms crossed, like, what are you doing hugging my wife? And
yeah, old Moneybags came back, and he's the one who claimed that he was her husband.
Yeah, put husband on the reservation.
On the fucking reservation.
Sarah's husband.
Yeah. And then, what else did he fucking say? He's all like, she's making big black guys cry, or some shit like that. Oh. So, yeah, man. Anyway, Sarah news. What other Sarah news do you have?
Sarah news.
Yeah, well, you know what? We did... Oh, we forgot to talk about our friend Michelle. So we were over at the a market around, not the bodega, but a fucking market. And we walk in, she's ordering what the hell she's getting. They serve food, and we got drinks and what have you. And how'd that conversation start with that Michelle lady?
I turned around and she was like, ooh, I could tell you're artistic.
Yeah,
that
didn't come till later though. Michelle apparently Michelle is a singer. She's Juilliard trained. She looked phenomenal. She was 58, but black don't crack. But she's not exactly black. She looked kind of Hispanic, like Dominican or something.
Yeah, Dominican, I would guess.
But her name's Carr, so that's like an Anglo name. Either way, she gets into this whole long conversation
People choose
about
their
stuff.
names.
That is true. Beau's happy hour.
Yeah.
And what she was talking about, how she went on this 40-day fast. Now, I mean, it's Easter Sunday, so I'm thinking maybe it's the Lent fast. It was a 40-day fast of water.
Just water.
Yeah, and she's saying like she didn't go out much, just whatever.
Just laid in bed and drank water.
Water, but apparently she said she had like growths, like cancerous type shit, and it cleared all that up. Now, I'm not a doctor, nor am I prescribing any of this. This is all anecdotal evidence that we got from a potentially schizophrenic person. And but one of the things that she said that actually sort of made sense to me was if you just drink the water for that extended time, like you get
starve.
You starve the diseases in your body, so it's not able to like reproduce and replicate and all that shit. And to be fair, she's claimed to be 58. And she looked phenomenal for 58. That's what it was. And she was something else. We ended up having to cut the conversation short because I had to go.
She wouldn't have stopped.
Yeah, I had to go talk to my buddy Jacobo Oro because we have a Spanish project, and his real name's Jacob Gold, but that's his Spanish name. So it was Yeah, I had to cut it short because otherwise, I think that woman would have just kept going.
Yeah.
Side note, you know.
It's this schizo talk.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a friend. At least one friend of mine has been diagnosed with schizophrenia, but he was
Only
also
one?
doing
No,
methamphetamine.
you've been around too many strippers. They just haven't told you.
Fair enough.
Bipolar is like the number one stripper
Bipolar?
disease. Yeah,
Why is that?
I think it has to do with the sexual abuse.
Fair enough.
And when you're bipolar, you go through the highs of being manic and super sexual, and I'm gonna go be a stripper, and then the lows of whatever.
Men are evil and blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. Let's drug them and fucking steal their shit.
No, that's in the woo. Let's be a stripper part.
Oh.
The depressed part.
Oh, I guess you don't see that. That's the drug abuse probably too.
Yeah. So, and then the second is schizophrenia again. It goes through those and the super
Highs and the
sexual,
lows. Swing low.
manic-y.
All right. So next, what's the throw up on the green screen? Our bundle of sticks section, which we kind of hit on earlier when I was talking about Easter. The bundle of sticks. The fact they made Easter the day of transgender recognition is absolute bullshit and satanic. Of all the days to choose, to randomly throw in last minute nonetheless. Why couldn't it have been next Sunday? Why couldn't it have been Saturday? Why did it have to be Easter fucking Sunday?
Yeah, like Trans Tuesday or something.
Why even at all? It's a fucking mental illness as far as I'm concerned. Now don't get me wrong. I'm very libertarian and loose, and if somebody wants to wear a dress and be called Shirley, I'll call you goddamn Shirley. But I'm not going to deny biological reality, nor am I going to fucking recognize anybody besides my Lord and Savior on fucking Easter Sunday. So I don't know who the fuck pulled the strings to push that and for it to happen on goddamn Easter Sunday, but they can go get fucked. So now, to all the other bundle of sticks out there, God bless you. Live your life. I don't give a fuck. As long as you do it with a consenting adult in your own goddamn home. You know, as far as I'm concerned, last I checked, pride's a fucking sin. You know, and pride cometh before the fall. And right now, our world is very prideful. And if you look around, it's falling the fuck apart. There's wars and all sorts of other wild shit that's going on. And, you know, it's like, why don't we just start trying to fucking love each other and be nice to one another and not push our agenda on anybody the fuck else? You know, go do your shit in your own time, you know, in the sanctity of your own fucking home. And I'm not breaking down any fucking doors. So that's the end of the bundle of sticks segment. Last segment on the docket is the government.
You're gonna make it like a pyramid? No?
No. Although our government is a scam, it's not a pyramid scam as far as I know.
Yeah.
So the government, I'm just talking. Obviously, I'm not a big fan of it. I mean, I'm not a fan of anything that tells me what to do. But with the government, I just want to focus on what happened in Baltimore earlier in the week. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the first thing they said, before they even found the fucking people who died in the fucking accident, is that it wasn't a goddamn accident. It was an attack. It was an attack. The fucking ship lost power, and then the rudder was steered directly towards the fucking stanchion that collapsed the bridge. There ain't no goddamn way that was an accident. You know, now the government is not telling us what the fuck actually happened, like because they don't want people to panic or fear or any of that type of shit. So, but there, without a doubt in my fucking mind, that ship was hijacked, and because it's controlled like airplanes, you know, it's like that big ass container ship is, I mean, yes, it's piloted certain things through areas, but if you saw that, once you get a boat that size with that much fucking weight in it, it's not a boat, technically it's a ship. There is a slight definition. It takes a lot to turn. and it turned right the fuck into the goddamn pier that collapsed the bridge. And if it lost power beforehand, then regained power, and then the course was set to fucking collide with the bridge, anybody who says it's just a fucking raw accident is fucking lying to you. But to be fair, they attacked us, but very low civilian casualties. They're just knocking out our goddamn infrastructure. Because if you think about it, the boat, or not the boat, but that harbor shipping lane, apparently it's one of the busiest in the fucking East Coast. It shuts down traffic around the fucking DC metro area. So now they have to ship things by truck, and they have one less avenue to move things through. So traffic's going to be a nightmare for people. Moving goods around is going to be a fucking an extra.
And most
bit
of that
bullshit.
area can't read, so the bridge closed sign means nothing. Whew, another one gone.
Oh, there's that too. I mean, yeah, and then they have the fucking mayor who's wearing a hoodie on interviews and complaining about racism, like calling him a DEI hire. It's like, that's bullshit. You live in a city that's 70% black. You obviously got chosen for the position because, and it's a Democrat city, people are voting in block for whatever the fuck you are. You weren't hired because of DEI, you were hired because of democracy. And no one's challenging how you got there. It's a fucking popularity contest. You know, it's like, that's what politics is. I mean, but the funny thing is, it's like, I know in Washington, D.C., after Marion Barry got reelected after being caught smoking crack and banging prostitutes, getting rehired, D.C. the government made the mayor like the way the king is in England. It's just a ceremonial position, but they actually have no power. The mayor of Washington, D.C. has no real fucking power. And I don't know what the situation is in Baltimore, but I'll tell you one thing. Baltimore is a failed state at this point. Like, if you go into what they're saying on the news, that some wild percentage of people can't fucking read when they graduate. Some kid with like a fucking 1.0 average was like valedictorian of his school. It's sad. It's truly goddamn sad. And it breaks my heart that there are people born in this country who they aren't really given an opportunity. And it's not racial. It's poverty, and they want to keep people poor and dumb. And now that people are starting to wake up to that fact, they're trying to fucking bring in a whole new fucking voting block so that way you can just be lost in it all. You know, it's the American dream, I suppose. Or the American fucking nightmare coming home to roost. And I don't know. Like, subscribe, and share. Beaux.
And email.
And no, I was getting at Beaux, BEAUXSHH@gmail.com. If you want to write into the show, throw me a question, me or Sarah a question, and we'll see y'all goddamn next week. And yeah, God bless you. Merry Christmas. Christ is King, and go fuck yourself. That's a wrap, baby.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
You look so handsome.
Oh, thank you. Stop things.
Yeah.